This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 81215, follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website. Guten Morgen.
Good morning, Frank.
Yo.
Can I?
I'm going to start saying yo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We were like a German couple with a slightly rebellious child who was raised in America.
The first time I heard yo, I always think this whenever I hear it now. It was in Rocky.
All right.
I go, yo, Paulie.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and I think it's people now associate it, don't they, as a slightly sort of hip hop thing. But yeah, I'm afraid it was Stallone that led the way for me.
Making it infinitely less cool.
Yeah, no, it was quite cool in the meat packing plant where I think he first said it.
Yeah.
Did it for you, Adrian. I remember doing that once to Adrian Chiles.
I'd have paid money for a ringside seat to that.
Adrian, who was the wife in Rocky.
Yes.
That's right.
She was, and they still do this in Hollywood, incredibly. They think, really, this is, it's an ugly woman part, but we can't possibly hire an ugly woman because no one will watch the film. So we'll hire a beautiful woman and we'll put her in a headscarf and spectacles. That'll be sufficient to suggest ugliness. And then also we could have the beautiful... the swan, the ugly duckling thing later on when he takes her... Because he used to get there used to be films set in offices and there'd be a very obviously beautiful woman who would take her glasses off and he'd say, why? Miss Elliot, you're beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, but she only had glasses on.
Yes.
Yeah.
I suppose once you've bought into Clark Kent...
He had a similar thing, though, with Clark Kent. True.
I know, yeah, but you sort of bought in. That was a deliberate buy-in.
I know.
But if they'd been if they were welders, and she took off her welding mask and he'd gone, Miss Elliot, you're beautiful, that would have been a different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
But anyway, it didn't happen. So look, I was watching the football this week. I was at David Baddiel's house.
Lovely place to watch it.
I went there. He'd already made me tea.
Tea as in the drink or tea as in some food?
Oh, no. I don't... He used to cook me, but David Baddiel eats like a lion. He'll say, I've got some lamb chops, and then he'll put them in the oven for 3.5 minutes, and I can't eat meat like that.
Right.
Oh, he likes it raw.
It's literally bleeding on the plate. I can't eat meat
Is
like that.
that greed? I love you, David. You're one of my closest friends, but you can be greedy.
Well, impatience, maybe. I don't think it is. I think that's how he likes it.
People eat lamb rare, don't they?
But I can't eat like that. So no, he doesn't. I might get a nice bit of cake.
Nice.
Depends what comes with his chocolate.
Sounds very
club.
70s, your meal. Lamb chops and cake.
Anyway, so we sat down.
Who's presenting it? Dickie Davis?
We sat down, still painting that ceiling. We sat down to watch the match, and it was all perfect. His son was there, Ezra. It was that thing of suddenly becoming 6 foot. And slightly frightening. You think, that moment when they've become physical adults, but you worry they might still have a childish tantrum in there and beat the hell out of you for no reason.
Some never grow out of that, of course.
If you accidentally stood on their action man, and they'll dislocate your jaw. But anyway, it didn't come to that. But we sat down to watch the game, and the game started, and it was perfect. I had a cup of tea. I was with my old mate. We had security with us in the form of his son, if anything, his 6 foot muscle man son, and it was all there. And then
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
526 has said they said yo a lot in the series Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Of course you haven't. It's an American box set.
That's partly why I'm reading it to you.
Also, that was much, much later than Rocky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Well, you say that. How many Rockies have there been? There's one every month.
But this was Rocky 1. It wasn't called Rocky 1. That would have been a bit overconfident.
I've been presumptuous.
That'd be great. I'm going to do that. If I ever write a film, I'm going to call it something 1. And then I just think there'll be an obligation for there to be another one.
Anyway, you've already got us on a cliffhanger, haven't you? You're at the football.
So we're sitting at David Baddiel's house. Yeah, and the England game has just started. Forgive me, people in Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales, etc. But damn me if there isn't a power cut. I mean, like 7 minutes into the game.
Oh.
And
we hadn't paid the bill.
I don't know.
In this day and age.
I mean,
power cut.
It was exactly. I forgot they happened.
Yeah.
Because when I was first started work in the 70s was during when the Ted Heath government, and there was power. The power then there was because of strikes. You only got the power you had to share the power. So half the country got it for 3 days. And the other got it for the other 3-4 days. I think there's 4 days in a week. Let me check that in the official absolute manual. But yeah, so we were. It was a. And of course, Dave didn't know where his torch was. We all had our phones, but you think, we're not planning for it. I thought of Al in his gyno headband that he wears to read.
Yes.
I thought, I wish I'd got that. That would have been...
had to go upstairs, but I could do that. A power cut.
Well, you say that. Kath told me that because she was down the road with our child, Boz, and she said she was in a different room when it went. She couldn't find her way back into the room he was in. I thought, what? We don't live in this house. She said I could hear him calling, but I just couldn't find my way back to him.
Right.
It was like one of the underwater scenes in Titanic. So I went. I had to go back home. There was nothing to keep me there.
You found your way out, though.
We went out into for dark chat.
I don't think I'd have navigated Baddiel's stairs in the dark.
It was actually fine.
Was it okay?
Just turned around and went down on his knees.
And there were people.
Really
there were people standing in the street talking. It had become like a community incident.
Nice.
So I went back to our house all in dark. It was very exciting. For the first time ever, I lit my Child of Prague candle.
I don't know what that is.
We don't know what that is. I'm really sorry.
Child of Prague is it's a statue in Prague of the infant Jesus, but it differs.
Oh, that's nice, darling.
It differs in that it's dressed in elaborate robes made by the nuns, and it has a white curly wig.
Now, this sounds like my kind of Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
How
a bit more Russell Grant, it sounds.
It's a sort of Little Britain Jesus.
How flammable is that wig? Is it perfect for lighting?
Well, I mean, on the candle, obviously,
right.
it's merely a representation of it.
Okay.
I didn't get the actual statue with a wick in the top of it.
It'd be nice if they'd just put a little bit of cotton wool or something flammable,
and
fake wig on there.
Boz got out a couple of glow sticks he got from a kid's party.
Nice.
I mean, we were very... it was all hands to the pump, so
It's very pragmatic. Can I raise something, and I hope you're not offended, which, as we know, always precedes something very offensive.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about this, Al, about whether it's okay if there's a power cut to just leave? I mean... Should you not maybe have stayed at David's and helped or said... It just worries me it's suggesting that I'm here for the football. If I can't watch it, I'm out.
Well, let's put it this way. We left Dave's house, me and Dave and his son Ezra.
Okay.
And we went down, we were heading for my house to watch the football there, thinking the power cut was just at the top end of the road. When we realised it was also my house, Dave and Ezra just turned around and went home. So the decision was it did remind me of when I was 50, someone gave me these 50-plus vitamin tablets that made my urine phosphorescent. And I thought, I wish I was on them now. We got 3 text-ins going at the moment.
Do we?
What's the first thing your partner ever said to you? What's the closest you've ever got to Meryl Streep? And whatever happened to Motney? So that's 8, 12, 15. Let's hear your answers on those.
How
on
can
those
people
issues.
know what's the closest they've ever got to Meryl Streep? That's what I want to know.
Well, you know if you've been in the same room as Meryl Streep, for
Yeah.
example.
But I never have, so I literally don't know what's the closest I've ever
don't
got to
text
Meryl
in.
Streep.
Don't
You
text
can't
in.
text in then.
Okay, fair enough.
You're not. I mean, it's not for you in that case. I have been in the same
Very
room.
exclusive.
Have you?
I've been to a wedding where Meryl Streep was one of the guests.
Shut up.
Yeah.
God.
yeah.
I nearly worked with her actually, and I
That was well
auditioned with her.
built-
So, but sorry,
Oh,
your
did you-
story.
did
no,
you
no,
audition
no, your
with her?
story. No, yours is better. You're in a room at the same time as her.
That's right.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, sorry.
No, I want to know what wedding was it, please?
Never would have predicted Meryl Streep beef would be part of the show.
Meryl Beef.
Frank, what wedding, please?
It was the Stanley Tucci's wedding.
Clang.
That's a
I
nice
was led
wedding.
into it.
Yeah, yeah.
I bet the food
That
was
when
nice.
Bill Nighy stole my seat.
Did he?
Yeah.
Frank, I'd read that book.
I was on at the end of the row as well, so I knew there must be the end is Nighy in there somewhere, but I never got round to it. He got up when he realised it's fair enough, fair play.
He's a very dapper gent. Gent? He's a very dapper gent.
So hold on, tell us about your
Oh,
rehearsal.
no, I
go
couldn't
on.
possibly.
Come
Okay,
on.
Des O'Connor.
Do your funny story.
No, it's not even a funny story. Frank's is better. No, I knew. Well, you know this.
I didn't know you actually rehearsed.
She was. Well, we didn't do it. She was there when I did my audition, and I
Okay.
said hello to her. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Excellent.
So you get the idea.
Yeah.
How close have you been to Meryl Streep? You might have got her autograph.
Yeah.
Or maybe a bit of a prang on an A road. It's all possible. Anyway, that's those. They're
What
already
were
going.
your first words to your partner, Frank?
My first words to my partner. You see, I think you remember theirs to you.
Yes.
I think Kat's first words to me was, "Do you know Chris Evans?" But
As opposed
we
to the way to San
we
Jose.
overcame that. Love will find a way. That's my opinion. Can I? I tell you what. I was sent a magazine this week.
Oh, nice.
Lovely.
Now I like a magazine.
Yes.
I mean, I got issue 189 of Bindweed,
Oh, yeah.
which is, as you know, I'm a member of the English Anglo-Saxon Society. And that came, I'm not talking about that.
No.
That sounds like such a euphemism.
It does.
What? It is a very fine magazine. Introduction to Danelaw.
Oh,
This
yeah.
week,
What are
isn't
the
it?
covers, Frank, of the Bindweed magazine?
Well, often it'll be a piece of Anglo-Saxon ornamentation from a brooch that was found at Sutton Hoo or something like that. You know the kind of thing. A bunch of students recreate some Anglo-Saxon sheds this
I'm
week
just-
and tell you how to build those.
I'm just feeling jealous of them, having spent so many years on magazines, desperately putting in requests to get Cara Delevingne, and all this time for the cover, I could have been just putting the old Anglo-Saxon brooch on.
Well, they know their audience of Bindweed, and that's, I think, what we all have to remember.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Frank, we've had some Meryl Streep sightings.
Oh, okay.
We should say
Excellent.
this was in response to your text in
What's the closest you've ever been to Meryl Streep?
049. The closest I was to Meryl Streep was last night when I was sat in a Chinese takeaway and A River Runs Wild was on. That's from Louise in Croydon.
Do they have? Do people sit and watch films now in Chinese takeaway?
I think there's a background television that is expected in the sort of reception area of the Chinese.
The upkeep's cheaper than a fish tank. It's
There's
really
the
old
little
thing.
telly in the corner. And
Okay.
we love it. What are they called? The curtain strips that we favour.
Ah, yes, but yes.
And then
Okay.
Ros Bridges says, I nearly saw Meryl Streep when staying at a hotel where an Oscars nominees' lunch was taking place. We saw many of the attendees leaving the hotel, but she exited via the kitchens.
Did she, like Robert Kennedy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or did he do kitchens?
I think that used to be a thing for dignitaries.
And the mafia.
And the
Yeah.
mafia.
Not suggesting there was any link there.
And, of course, the mafia.
Don't get nothing for Nearly, though.
Well, I don't know.
Nearly seen. All right, fair enough. You've made it a more specific texting than I expected.
So anyway, the magazine I was sent this week
Oh, yes.
is called Reg Transfers magazine. The world of personal number plates.
Oh, right. You thinking of getting one?
And this is issue 47. Can you believe
No.
there's been 47? And basically, what I've discovered from looking through it about the world of personal number plates,
Please can we put this up on social?
it's a world where none of the number plates are quite right.
Yes.
And that's what I like about it.
It is
Because-
a world where you do get something for Nearly, don't you?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
great. I think one
Yeah.
can learn so much from Reg Transfers magazine that people will make do and mend.
Yes.
Nothing has to be. Nothing's 100% in life. Mm-hmm. So that what you get a picture of a car with a number plate, and then you get a little quote from the person who bought it from Reg Transfer. So there you have a Range Rover and the number plate is 3GAR, 3GAR.
What's that?
Gary Mitchell from Dundee is, I quote, over the moon with his purchase. He says, I had a cheaper version of my name on my Range Rover. But what was that? I wonder. Just G.
But yeah, GR.
I had a cheaper version of my name on Range Rover Sport, but since I got 3JR, I can't wait to get out driving.
Oh,
I feel my car looks so much better now.
yeah.
What's the 3GAR?
Well, like I say, nothing's perfect in the world with a
Oh,
personalised
he's
number.
ruined it with the 3.
What is it?
Can I just say, Reg Transfer, because there is a picture of a sort of slightly portly gentleman on the cover.
Well, I think that's his jacket that's doing
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah,
I
actually,
thought
yeah.
that was his name. It does feel like a Coronation Street character. Reg Transfer. He's just moved in up the street.
Yeah.
Reg Transfer.
Very personable. Yeah, I'll give you, as the show progresses, I'll give you some other extracts from
Breaking
Red
news
Transfer.
from the number
People,
plate world.
they're all absolutely thrilled with their number plates.
Right.
And I like the idea that people, they don't need perfection.
No.
They'll have, near as damn it is what we're
Yes.
talking about.
It's like the people, Frank, with the calculators. It inhabits the same Venn diagram as that. You know when you turn your calculator upside down
Oh,
to
yeah.
get
Love
words?
that.
Okay, let's leave that.
Yeah, like Shell Oil it used. Remember that was the first one I
It's
saw.
not the one I was thinking.
No, it
Yes,
was,
we
but
know what you were thinking.
I chose it carefully.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I will say this about your text-ins, Frank, is I don't think the first words you've ever said to your partner is going to yield that much that is broadcastable.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Seems that a lot of our readership had very direct first words to their partner.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
And they've still...
What about Anglo-Saxon?
Seems to have worked out for a very
what
tiny
kind of-
percentage of the
What kind of
population.
a lesson is that for our single listeners, of
Well,
which I'm sure there are
No,
many?
it's just congratulations, Joe in Birmingham, but no, we can't disclose.
No.
I remember I used to say quite a lot, you smell nice.
Oh,
You said that to me.
Have I? Oh.
yeah.
Oh, no.
And me.
It was
What about old Michael Rinaldi from West Lothian? His number plate is 35FR. Michael Rinaldi, West Lothian in Scotland, kindly sent us this great photo of his prize registration. I think I'm going to need a bit more information than that. That's all it says. But what's 35FR?
let's work this out. Hang on. What can that be? It's not his initials.
No, I think maybe he's travelling incognito. Maybe he's on the witness protection.
Maybe. In that
That'd be
case,
great, wouldn't
don't
it?
put it in a magazine, you might think.
But if you're on the witness protection, the personalised number plate's got nothing to do with your name. It'd be absolutely perfect. I bet they haven't thought of that as a sideline.
We've got Al, who's this one? As the driving correspondent, I'm handing over to you.
Oh, I see. 660 has texted, I wanted a personal number plate to reflect my surname of Nash. I found N45HER, which looks like Nasher.
Oh, yes. Do you see? Yes.
It was £6,000, so it was cheaper to change my name by deed poll. Yours, KD17 UKD.
Very fine.
AKA
Jokes.
Nasher of Bedford. Nasher.
I'm going to do one more of these, and then I'll...
What, Red Transfer?
In issue number 44 of World of Personal Number Plates, we featured top airbrush artist Paul Carslake with his highly appropriate PK58 art plate. Don't know where the 58 comes in. It could be his birthday, it doesn't mention it. Well, he now has another great registration, this time allied to his love of motor racing. Ready?
Yeah.
He's adorned his beloved SL Class W Mercedes-Benz with an image of Formula One world champion Lewis Hamilton. So what plate do you add to complete the picture? OK, let's see if you can guess that, guys.
OK, so that should be LH1.
Something L3W1S. Lewis. So it
I'll
looks
tell
like
you.
Lewis.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it's W44WHO. So here we go. Hold on to your seats. Fasten your seatbelts, I should say. The W is the Merc model. So it's a W Mercedes-Benz. Okay.
Right.
The 44 is Hamilton's race number. I'll give you that.
Didn't know that.
And who is quite simply because everyone asks me who the picture is of on the bonnet. I'm
talk
£6
about
grand.
reach.
It's a God bless them for it.
Wowee.
Oh, by the way, do you remember when I asked for a photo of someone to do a mock-up film poster of us?
Oh, yes.
Because they did one of the Absolute presenters, and we weren't on it.
Was it
Yeah.
Blade Runner or something?
Well, a guy called Warren Osborne has done a Blade Runner one of us, which I actually do quite like.
Do you?
Oh,
Good on you, Wazza.
okay.
Guitar was her.
Yeah, I went to school with a kid called Warren. We all called him Wazza, so I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I met Les Dennis in a gentleman's toilet the other night.
Full of the anecdotes.
Wowee.
And we were at Fiddler on the Roof opening night.
Oh, great. Was it good?
Oh,
It was excellent.
I love it.
The Playhouse Theatre, I'd recommend it. He
Yeah,
said to me,
me too.
what do you think of it, Frank? I said, no, it's very Jewish, which was obviously a joke because it
Yes.
is very Jewish.
It is.
And also, some of my best friends, etc. And he laughed, and then we moved on. And it was one of those fabulous... the sort of drive-by jokings
Yes.
that one
yes.
does at these things. Very, very satisfied indeed. But no, I would recommend it.
I had a little sing-along.
Love it.
I had to stop myself because I saw it. I saw the same production, and I realised I get very involved now. I'm older, and I sometimes don't realise that it's not okay to sing along when there are performers on stage.
Now, I really cried at it. I don't know spoilers, but it was very sad. What about when I went to see Liza Minnelli, and she did that "She's a Tramp" song? What it's called? She's a tramp, but he's a tramp.
Yeah.
And I not only sang along, but I did the from Lady and the Tramp, and the but I love her.
That's that disapproved
didn't
of.
go. Of course, if I were a rich man, which is from Fiddler on the Roof, I can only sing now in character.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
We've got some quirky text-ins running, haven't we?
Yes.
I mean, they weren't meant to be serious texting.
Oh, right.
We're getting responses. And then,
This is what I love about our readers.
That's fine.
Well, one of your more mainstream ones is what was the first thing you said to your partner,
Or they said to you.
or they said to you? One of the few that's broadcastable is...
Come on, guys, keep it clean.
Yeah, met my
That's
Swedish wife on the tube in London. I like the idea that creates...
It's a good opener, this. I met my Swedish wife on the tube.
I like to think this person's a bigamist and they've got a Swedish wife, a British wife. There's several different wives.
I met my Swedish wife on the tube and said, I thought you were supposed to be at the gym this morning. No, go on, carry on.
Met my Swedish wife on the tube in London. She and her friend were speaking a weird language. I said out loud...
I'm going to guess. Swedish.
Vad vill du ha a dricka?
Lovely
what would
accent.
you like to drink? I went to Norway aged 12 and it was the only phrase I remembered. Her friend replied, why, what have you got? We got talking, I got a phone number, and now we live in Stockholm.
Wow.
Yeah,
lovely.
it's good, isn't it?
I mean,
That is good.
it doesn't say they got married or she was a willing
No,
participant. It just
they
said
are
they live
married.
in Stockholm.
What do you think is Stockholm Syndrome? I like the fact that I like the literalness of what would you like to drink? What have you got? Thinking he was some sort of vendor of drinks
Right.
rather than take them out. That's good. See, it makes me, when I've seen people on public transport in the past, you know, when I was a young man and thought, wow, look at that person. What if I'd had the courage to
Yes.
go up
Yeah,
into
what
that?
if?
Who knows what would have been?
Yes. What
But
about,
you know, I wouldn't. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't change my current situation. But it does make you think.
Oh, stop thinking. 791, Frank.
Oh yeah.
Says, hi, Frank, Emily and Alan. Just laughed on the M6 after listening to your show. Oh, sorry about that inadvertent praise. I just passed a transit van with Reg 7 Goo.
7 goo. What do we think that is?
Well, we can tell you.
Okay.
We looked at the driver and he was a happy-looking baker.
So goo as in
As
what?
in sort of cake mixture, I would imagine.
I mean, it's such a stretch, these number plates. Incredible stretch. Yeah, maybe he was called, you know, George Good or something, and he was set
Maybe.
with G-double-O.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or it was what his wife said when they split up. Go!
or he might have followed the Nazarene and just thought, what's an O between friends?
Oh, I see. Yeah, maybe. Well, yeah. I never realised how approximate personalised number plates were until I read Raj Transfer magazine issue number. What is it again? Issue number 47.
And there's a
47.
lovely the cover, not a cover girl. It's the cover guy. This month or week is Roger with a D.
He's got a few.
I do like Roger with a D.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what's nice about the shoot of Roger is that I know a lot about him, I just read up. He actually owns a lock-up facility.
Who doesn't?
Roger does,
He's
yeah.
not a minder. I think I saw footage of him buying that car.
Where he keeps
He could be so good for
classic cars. And what's nice is that they've got some images of Roger with driving gloves, some without.
Oh, right.
There's something for everyone in that shoot.
You can play to both crowds.
me. There's a picture of James Twyman in here with his car K90 Jet. And he says Jet represents James' initials, including his middle name of Edward. That's fine. My wife's name is Kate, K90 Jet. So we are reading K90 Jet as Kate and James Edmund Twyman. You know how and is often synonymous with 90, the number 90.
You know, I would say the phrase "we are reading" sums up Reg Transfer and his
Also-
empire.
You've got to have some pretty willful blindness to ignore the fact that K9 is already a thing.
Yeah, exactly. So we've had K9 and WHO, and neither of them bought into the Doctor Who thing. What's going on?
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
We've had a message in from a fellow headlamp user.
What do you mean, a driver?
You know, I said last week that I use a headlamp.
You're going out headband.
Yeah, I read by my wife in bed when she's asleep. And we've had someone say, hi, Alan, Frank and Emily. I'm delighted to hear that I'm not the only thoughtful but slightly eccentric husband. I'll take that. To read in bed with a headlamp. However, please don't fall into the trap I did. We have a large bed and my wife is a quiet, still sleeper. As a result, I once spent 2 hours doing some headlit early morning reading, not realising that she had moved out during the night to be with a restless child. She did come back
I thought you were going to say with a wrestler.
Yeah, I thought she'd moved out
be with
permanently
Big
when I
Daddy.
first read it.
Oh, that'd be terrible. But you'd soon find them. With your headlamp on.
She did come back eventually and still regales people with the tale of me looking like a sad, lonely Chilean miner, obviously waiting for rescue, not realising
Chilean.
Oh,
I think Chilean.
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 Chilean? No, Chilean.
Chilean Minor?
I think it's okay to hit that accent on Chilean.
Well,
I'm
it
going
might
for
be.
it.
It's a first for me, and I'm 62.
This is what didn't we have this with spaghetti bolognese?
Yes, we did. Oh,
And I was proven right then, I think.
Okay, well, looking forward to
Anyway,
it.
that's from Paul in New Zealand.
That's do you do you keep it on if you have to get up in the night, as it were?
I'm so
No, I
glad you
take
said
it. I take it off when I'm finished with the reading. I
No, but I mean, if
Click
you
it
go
off.
if you go to the toilet, it means you don't have to put the actual light on in the toilet.
don't think I need to anyway.
Well,
well, that tells
your
the story
wife
of
might
its
not agree with that.
I know what that's like, living with a dog.
Speaking of living with a dog,
Go on.
I actually have a minor dog update
Talking of Chilean miners,
on my own
Chilean
dog.
Minor dog.
You know, I live in the north and we have a whippet. It's part of the deal.
Yeah.
She's had a minor operation. She got corns on her paws, and it was
What?
making her a bit unhappy.
I never knew you could have dog corns.
Yeah, the whippets
Wow.
get dog corns. I think it was corns. It looked like little verruca type thing.
I thought they came from the weight of walking, but a whippet must. I mean, they barely touch the ground.
There's not much.
and they
of them.
don't wear heels,
They do not.
so they
wear
don't
heels.
get the bunions.
Well, you say
Dog corns.
you say they don't wear heels, but when she had the operation, she came out and she's got little bandages on her paws, and so she's got these sort of special, almost like socks with a little Velcro strip to put over them to stop her going.
Oh, they'd fit
nagging.
me.
But it's amazing how much it has affected her walking. She just looks so unsteady because obviously she's not used to having shoes on.
No.
She's got some front shoes. It's really odd looking, seeing her navigate going down the stairs into the garden.
remember that-
It's really upsetting.
The manservant in La Cage aux Folles.
Jacob.
Exactly what I thought you'd
French
link
Are you
to.
referring to Jacob, one of my favourite ever characters in anything?
He's always barefoot, and because they've got family coming down, he puts shoes on, and he can't actually. That's the image
It's
I'm
just
getting
like
now.
that.
He puts heels on.
I wish
Really.
I'd known that reference so that I could have made it.
Yeah, well,
I feel
it-
really jealous of you now.
Well, you can use. You don't have to credit me.
No.
It's in the public domain.
I wasn't aware of the corn thing either, Frank.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Oh.
Do they have dog chiropodists?
Well, we just went with the pet, the vet. That's what they're called,
Hmm.
veterinarian.
Just in the vet, isn't it? If you think about it, 'cause if you're a human being,
Yes.
you get ear, nose, and throat people,
Yeah.
opticians, and all that. But you get it's like the primary school teacher. They claim they can do all the subjects.
Yes.
Well,
Just leave it to them.
this
Vets
is
are doing all the animals in all the different.
All the animals,
Sections.
This
and
is
all
what-
the and all the branches of medicine on all the
all come
animals.
together.
I mean,
Supervet
they're generalists.
is very interesting on this. Supervet says.
Oh,
that-
you know Supervet,
I do
don't you?
Of course
actually.
you do.
What's the closest you've been to Supervet? No, don't actually, because I'm not quite sure of his situation.
I think he flew over my upstairs bedroom once on his way to a
He's
mission.
a marvellous man, but he makes exactly this point, Frank, because he specialises. When I made the mistake of saying, "Oh, I don't know what to do about my dog. I think he's got, I don't know, whatever the current problem it was, something to do with his ears," and he said, "Well, I don't do that because I'm an orthopaedic surgeon."
Right.
So that's what he specialises in.
But does he do all the animals orthopaedically?
He would do a cat, certainly.
But the idea that you
I
could
mean-
do a cat one day and then someone could bring a giraffe in and you'd feel perfectly confident to deal with both. I mean, cats don't have those, those handlebars you get on the top of a giraffe, those things like
Yeah.
those space hopper handles. I mean, what if it's got a problem with that? You'd never have seen that on a cat.
You're right. You've got to go from elephants to gerbils in,
Yeah.
in what, same day,
This,
perhaps.
this is the ideal text in 8. What is it? What's
8, 12, 15.
8, 12,
I think you'd have
15.
picked it up after 7 years.
Are vets blagging it? They're blagging it.
Wow.
I mean, could you take a bird in?
Yeah.
It's a bit 90s.
Also, it's not much of a day, is it?
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So Mickey Dunn has just pointed out that Supervet did an op on a penguin.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he's a paediatrician, so he'd have done the penguin feet.
He's an orthopaedic surgeon.
Okay.
So the penguin I don't know. I don't know about their skeletal structure.
I'm not going to lie
Have they
with you.
got one?
I don't.
I would have assumed it looks like there's nothing in there. It looks like it's just all marshmallow.
Yeah, they look like a hold all.
Yes.
If you was, I mean, I could
Unzip the white bit and then the marshmallow come out.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, okay.
Well, I did ask, and I was probably being a provocateur. Our vet blagging it. 642 has said, I had to take a duck to the vet and was redirected to the exotic animal vet as the normal ones don't know how to treat it. It had a sore eye. Now, I've perhaps done the tone there.
Yeah.
But that feels like, if you can do animals, then you can probably do a duck's eye. Same as you can do any eye, surely.
Eyes make me sick. And the idea of, it made me ill. I hate eyes.
But in what world is a duck an exotic animal?
Imagine a duck's eye, Frank. They're
But
horrible.
where do you take a duck-billed platypus? Is there like an exotic animal plus that you have to go to? Duck is not very exotic, is it?
Can I ask a question about a duck? What are their eyes like? I mean, cows, lovely
12,
eyes.
15.
One of their best features.
Yes, they have got the
Don't you
lovely
think?
soft eyes.
They've got the eyes of the animal kingdom, wouldn't you
Yeah.
say? The cow? Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Beautiful lashes.
I like the husky eye. You know the husky
You've
dog?
gone for the cold blue.
Yeah, icy blue.
Good point.
But, yeah, they look like Robbie Fowler eyes. That's what I'd compare the husky eye to. It's a sort of
okay.
scouse blue, I call that shade.
Okay. I can only picture that with one of those nose plasters underneath it, which he favoured.
But the duck eye,
Circular,
not their best feature.
large pupil on a duck eye. They're taking in all the light they can. Just a little ring of orange around the end and a lot of black in the middle with the duck eye.
But we all know the best feature of the duck. It's the junk in the trunk.
Oh, I thought you meant the taste.
Yeah. It's the Kardashian.
The sauce
Rear.
orange. Yeah, but not an exotic. I mean, I'm sure there are exotic ducks. But you take a mallard to the exotic animals bit. I mean, I suppose it's all relative.
Sorry, Mickey Dunn has just confirmed, just briefly, a bit more information regarding that breaking Supervet story in the Penguin.
Oh, yeah.
It was the penguin's foot that was injured.
So that's all right.
It was born like it.
He's still on his home ground. It was
Yes, because it was a foot, exactly.
Was it a club foot? Loss combining two biscuits in the same operation.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
153 has texted on the subject of first things that said to your partner. I met my partner through a friend setting us up on a date. My date's first text to me to help me find her at the pub was, I'm the one in a green matted velvet jacket and downing a pint. That's a good start, I think.
That's an opening to Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Yeah.
Can I tell you, by the way, there's a review on the BBC website today
Oh, yeah.
by Will Gompertz.
Oh, yes.
You know him.
The art critic.
He's an art critic.
Something of the nihies about
Yes.
him. Okay.
Well, I mean, he's very intellectual, bald head glasses. I'm never happy with the Will. I think he should be William, shouldn't he? But anyway, this is so he's reviewing the new Van Gogh exhibition.
Oh, yeah.
And he at Tate Britain, and he says it begins. There's no point beating about the bush. If you possibly can, go and see this show at the Tate. And he says it's Van Gogh in top form. I'm just reading a couple of bits here. All the stunning pictures. Just to be in the same space as these paintings is like being hardwired into the Earth's energy supply. You can feel the life force. He goes on like that. 4 stars.
Right.
Now, how often I've seen that someone rave about something and then go 4 stars. You know, I've got to think I won't put 4-star reviews on my poster because I think they're a slap in the face.
Yeah.
Why would he do that? you can you've got to go.
Yeah.
Brilliant, amazing paintings. You're channeled
Give
into the
it 5.
Life Force. 4
Yeah.
stars. Come on, Will.
I feel for Van Gogh. This reminds me of the time in 2006 when I got a 2-star in the Scotsman that read like a 5. Just the same.
No.
Not a word of criticism in it. 2 stars.
But what's that about?
Perplexing.
I mean,
Well, when I did my play in Edinburgh last
At least
year.
Van Gogh's dead.
Yeah.
I was alive during my 2-star review.
You may remember I wrote a play last year.
Oh, yeah.
And the next day, I was worried about the reviews. Next day, 5 stars. Unfortunately, they were spread over 4 different reviews. Nevertheless,
I thought that was a brilliant play, actually.
we soldier on. Thank you,
Enjoyed it.
darling.
People, you know. No.
You're flying in the face of popular opinion.
Well,
But,
you know, you're
87
a comic. How dare you write a play?
87% business.
Oh, yeah.
Every cloud.
There you go. And Van Gogh, the opposite. Van Gogh, what I would say,
No,
Frank.
that'll sell well, Van Gogh.
Well, it will sell well. You sounded like your manager. I like it.
I mean, red hot tickets. I've got one here. It's a Van Gogh joke.
Oh, do you know? Do you know? I love that, and I'm really sorry I didn't give it its respect. that
No,
it
it's
deserved.
okay. I like having the occasional joke with a footnote.
Frank Skinner.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
On the subject of the personalised number plate, when I lived in Birmingham, you used to see local DJs, which I don't know if we qualify as local DJs.
Yeah,
you used
we
to
do.
see them in cars with their names on the cars, not just personalised, but it would literally say something like Beacon Radio, Dave Willits.
Right.
And I think they got company cars, and they just drove. I'd be very happy to drive around in Absolute Radio, although it'd
Would you?
probably get vandalised, wouldn't it?
Well, that was back in the day when also I think that harks back to a sort of an old-fashioned notion that you showed off your notoriety or fame.
Yeah.
So, for example, you would have had to have had a car with Frank Skinner or FS or Three Lions.
I think it would be something
3L.
like SK1N3R.
Too close. I think
And
it
you-
would be FS27, and then something like DL, and I'd have to come up with something for the DL and the 20.
Oh, yeah.
3 lids, and you're like, well, it's a bit like 3 lions.
Yeah.
What I've realised from reading Reg Transfers magazine is that the personalised number plate is a world of the not quite right.
It really is.
And more power to its elbow
Yeah.
for that.
We've had a few vets getting in touch as well.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Call me.
Slightly angry.
I'm a vet. No, they're not angry, actually. But there's a lovely vet saying, this is 623. I listen to your shows, it cheers me up after a 45-hour working as a small animal vet.
What, in
Dogs,
one
cats,
shift?
and no penguins.
Don't think so.
Oh, no, they often do. Super vet sleeps on the premises. He doesn't go home.
Can't do a 45 hours straight through shift,
Oh,
can he?
these doctors and, the vets, they were,
No wonder
they're
he's calling
committed.
himself Super
The
Vet.
super vet is also a small animal vet. So
Okay.
ducks, chickens, goats, a farm or large animals, even if they are kept as pets. So you need to take them to a large or mixed animal vet.
Well, because they don't have the full-length rubber gloves, you see, at the dock place. If you're going to do the cow, you want the sort of Queen Mother gloves.
The evening glove.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Well, I mean, they go right. They're like Buccaneer. You know those Buccaneer boots that women used to wear that come up mid-thigh. That's
yes.
what the gloves are
Oh,
like.
yeah.
If you're searching about in something bovine,
Yes.
you need
Oh,
a
dear.
longer glove.
514 sounds like a get up and go character. Morning all, I can't speak for vets, but for me I find the internet has all you need. I'm no mechanic, but last week I repaired my daughter's car door lock. Went online, followed the video, hey presto, job done. Similarly, I repaired my cat after he got into it with a whippet.
Wow.
Anyway, went online, followed the suturing cat video, hey presto.
Oh,
I
dear.
think it went pretty well anyway.
Oh, well.
You say Absolute Radio does not recommend watching YouTube videos to stitch up animals
I'll
or
keep that
humans.
name redacted, I think, yeah?
Yeah.
To protect the...
I'm
assuming it was those little butterfly plaster stickers things.
I remember
Not real.
Actually, I won't tell the story.
yeah, maybe not.
My dad did a bit of home vetting, but
Oh, God.
yeah, exactly.
I don't like this.
No.
And I don't even know it.
We'll leave
We'll
it there.
change the subject.
Yes.
Change the subject. Should we talk about this?
Hold on, can I talk about something? I watched Kate Winslet doing a BFI interview. You know, I'm a big Winsletian. I'm a big fan of KW. And she was on about when she got her first film part. Now, we've all got agents. I wonder how you feel about this. So she was in a thing called Heavenly Creatures. Have you ever seen it?
I remember it. Well, it was an Australian movie.
That's right. And it was actually Peter Jackson, I think, who directed it.
Yes.
So anyway, she was 17 years old, and she went off. She had several, a bit like you and the French Lieutenant's woman. She had a few callbacks.
Yeah.
Right.
And then she went in, and they seemed to really like her. So she was waiting for the call. Anyway, after about a week, her agent said she was working in a deli in Reading, and the phone went. It was her agent. She said, I just knew. I was so excited. And my agent, I picked up the phone. My agent said, "You clever girl," and I thought I wouldn't be happy with that. I'd say thanks. By the way, you're fired.
Oh, you don't like clever girl?
I don't like you, clever girl. Do you?
Well, as someone born in that world, Frank, that is a very glasses on a lanyard thing to say. Okay. In the same way that when I started working for a magazine, I think it was Sunday Times magazine, I was an intern, and I called up to request an interview with Daniel Day-Lewis, and his agent said, sorry, lovey, no can do, and slammed the phone down. I wasn't offended because I imagined the glasses on the lanyard. This is the language he speaks.
Well, that reminds me of someone told me that about Danny LaRue, the famous, what was then called a female impersonator. I don't know what the term would be now.
Yeah.
But he'd agreed to do a show at this theatre, and he said that the thing was he travelled everywhere with his dog, and they need to make sure that the hotel was okay with it. So they checked with the hotel, it was fine, so it was all booked. And then the hotel phoned and said, actually, we've had a rethink, we can't take the dog. So some poor soul at the theatre had to phone Danny LaRue, and he said, no dog, no Danny, and put the phone down. that was the end of that.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Can I tell you, occasionally, and this is occasional, I'll admit, on Absolute Radio, I do a full-on interview with someone that goes out sort of podcast form. And I've done Roger Daltrey, Noel Gallagher, Russell T Davies, and of course the award-winning Al Gore interview, though I say it shouldn't. But this week, from Wednesday, I am doing an interview. It says it's called Frank Skinner in conversation with. Then it's got ... Emily Dean.
Emily Dean.
Yeah.
So I'm actually interviewing Emily Dean.
Brilliant.
Oh, I'm in good company. I feel a bit embarrassed. I'm up there with the likes of Gore. I mean, what's gone on?
Big act to follow.
It's a peculiar thing interviewing someone you know well. It's a bit. I think we got over the phoniness quickly and got into.
Well, there was about 10 seconds. No, probably about 60 seconds of phoniness, and then you just relax.
You know when you've been talking to someone backstage, and then you go on, start the show, and they come on and shake hands with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a bit like that, but it was all turned out rather lovely.
Thank you.
So listen in
to that.
Yeah, that's downloaded on Wednesday. Mittwoch, as they call it in Germany. What do they call it in France?
What's Mittwoch?
Midweek.
Oh.
Is it midweek?
But they call Wednesday Mittwoch, don't they?
Oh, do they?
Okay.
Yeah.
Very, what is it?
I think it's Mecredy.
Mecredy, okay. Thanks very much.
I have some news, which you may be familiar already with this news, but I'm rather obsessed by... He's a bit of a Bear Grylls type, Al. He's one of your lot.
What?
Okay?
Male.
An adventurer.
Well, exactly. You get what I mean,
All
Frank.
right,
A sort of
yeah.
active male.
Yeah.
He did...
Meaning.
No, the sort of...
Not so sedentary.
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's a more...
It's not a type of camel.
Oh, a little bit Gillette the best a man can get.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Okay.
I'm fine with it.
I know. I don't. It's not that I don't see like that, but I see you more buried in proof rock, on a nice bridge in London.
Okay.
Now he did 100-mile marathon.
What's his name again? He's got a special name, hasn't
Oh
he?
yes, attention must be paid. He is called Peter Messervy Gross.
Okay.
Ugh, gross.
I went
Yeah.
to a school with a boy with the surname Gross,
Did you?
and it was a bold choice for this character to hang on to it because, this boy I went to school with had a terrible time.
Really? For being called
Gross, grossy gross.
Children are so-
Right.
No, we were adults at this point.
Oh,
We still
okay.
carried on. But he had planned this huge expedition to
Yeah.
Mongolia, of all
This-
places.
It's called something. Is it the? It's
Ulaanbaatar.
the Mongol 100. It's called, and you run. You actually run 100 miles over a frozen lake.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's a big old challenge. He bought specialist kit.
Well, you would.
Well, then what happened? The airline lost his luggage. So what did he decide to wear, Frank Skinner, for his expedition for 100 miles across
Well,
Mongolia?
a lot of us apparently he spent 6 months researching the right equipment to wear. This is true. And then the airline lost it, and he did it in a pair of blue jeans and some brogues.
Yeah.
It's the pros.
100-mile run across a frozen lake. But we'll come back to this character in a minute.
I think we will.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Although I've never done anything of this extreme nature,
Ultra marathoning.
I've
Call it.
I've been on a few walking holidays with my partner Kath, and we've done 20 odd miles a day. Nothing, no running involved.
Wowie.
And I have been. It's making me think now that the money I've spent on Gore-Tex
Gore-Tex walking boots.
this and blah and all that
All right,
stuff.
yeah.
I could have done it in a suit and tie.
Well, the money I spent on Kendal mint cake, which I genuinely bought when I had to go to the shop and watch you buy the equipment. I would
It's
like that
true,
back.
actually.
I had to. Isn't that true, Frank? I had to buy Kendal mint cake. I was so
wasn't-
tired
I was
from
in there
waiting for him.
Quite a long time trying on, state of the art gear. That was when I was
All
going
right.
to the Hebrides, where
But that's
bad
fair
weather
enough.
was predicted.
You've done your fair share of waiting over the years.
But
for-
have I been fooled? Have I been duped?
Well,
That's
to an
what I'm
extent, I believe that the who was it that first climbed Everest?
Sir Edmund Hillary.
Yeah, I
Very
think.
good, Frank.
Well, actually, Sherpa Tenzing got there
Oh,
first.
Was
good point.
Captain
Good
Oates
point.
on that trip?
No, that was
Oh, he's the other
Scott
one.
to the Antarctic.
Oh dear.
I think there were people
It's not
that
my area.
climbed it in a three-piece suit before
Was
that.
there?
Like early ones, yeah.
Not before Hillary, because he was the first to climb it, wasn't he?
To finish it, I think a few tried and failed.
So some went up in suits.
I think back in the day.
Those are my type
Brilliant.
of met. I love those characters in the
Yeah.
suits, a tweed suit.
It's
a
a good
very-
fabric.
But it's this brogues thing. It's very British. He is actually from New Zealand. This guy, I think, or he's resident. But
Yeah.
he went for the brogue.
Well, he had the brogue. I think he,
No, he was wearing the brogue boot,
Yeah.
wasn't he?
for the flight, which
He's-
is weird.
So what happened? He said he couldn't get. They lost the luggage, and why didn't he buy trainers at least?
He's size 13 feet.
And
okay.
apparently, this is
Big.
what it said, that in Mongolia, they tend to be a bit smaller. And they said, like, the biggest shoe you could ever get, even like if you went to the Mongolian outsize man shop, is size 11.
And that's quite a shop to find.
It
Yeah.
is, yeah. There's a shop at the bottom of my road,
Yes.
which is for bigger shoes than most people need.
Oh yes.
And it's in the middle of a normal shopping centre with, grocers and stuff
Right.
like that. And I've never been in it, and I'll be honest with you, I'm slightly frightened. The whole prospect of it I find slightly frightening.
Just because it's there.
I've looked in and there's some big,
Shoes.
like ferret beds.
Is there only like 3 things in the window display? They can't fit a whole pair in.
You could
Just one
ski.
shoe.
I'm going skiing. Can I have a pair of those? But I think... I'd be frightened to go in there because I know they'd look at me and say, yeah, what do you want?
Do they have a picture of Andre the Giant signed on the wall?
Well, I don't even know how small they go in a big...
Right.
I take out
What
9.
size are you? Al?
I'm 43 UK.
So, Al?
I'm a size 10.
You see, that's
You
9
might
and...
creep in at the lower end.
I might.
Oh, you're quite... Well, 9 and 10, that seems about right, doesn't
If
it?
I was smuggling, if I was going smuggling, I might be glad of a pair of size 14s.
Yeah, you could get those big size 14s, put your Kendall mint cake in there, and off you go.
Lovely for
But
that. I
honestly,
quite
fill
like
your
the
boots,
clown,
as
the
they
clown
say.
look. Clowns like brogues as well.
They do.
So
They
They
honestly,
favour a brogue,
I
don't
have
they?
I've lived there now for 4 years. I've never been in that shop. And when
Go in.
I think we should go in.
I think I don't even know what it's called.
I'm
It's
gonna go in with you.
Bigfoot.
it's not called Bigfoot.
I don't know what it's called. It's kind of a name that signifies
Presumably,
it's-
colloquially, people call it the big shoe shop.
Well-
and then they go, it's not that big a shoe shop.
No.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It is the name that must never be pronounced because I've never heard any of my neighbours, all that stuff. It's like mate. You know those trap streets they used to put on
Yeah.
maps.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I'm the only person who can see it. But I wouldn't go in there for £100. I don't think I imagine I'd
I
never.
like that it
200.
frightens you.
Let's make a game of this.
Something
it
about feet that big. There's
Skinner's
something-
got a price. I want to know his price for going in there.
Okay.
We found out what frightens right. It's a shoe shop.
The outsize. They used the word outsize. I'm going to find out what it's. I might Google it. I'll Google it and it won't exist, almost certainly.
Yeah.
I mean, there could laces in there you could use as clotheslines.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We've got a lot of info on shoes now,
Okay.
haven't we, Al? We've got 504. The shoe shop you're talking about is Magnus Shoes. He sent this in.
Okay. Why would it be? Is Magnus? Is that a Latin term for big or something?
Oh, yes. I thought, but unless it might have been opened in the 70s
Or by
and Magnus Pike.
Or Magnus
Or
Magnuson.
Magnuson or Pike. Magnus Magnuson seemed... Magnus
He
Pike
must have
seemed
had-
taller.
Magnus Magnuson must have had massively big feet. So big they named them twice.
My mate has size 15 feet and this place is his preferred only shop of choice,
Oh, okay.
Anthony. A number of people getting in touch about
Look,
Magnus Shoes.
can I make it clear? It's okay to have big feet. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if I went in there and the assistant appeared, I wouldn't be able to look down. I just wouldn't be able to look down, so I don't know what I might see. I'd be frightened of standing on them.
Well, they do sizes up to 19.
Whoa.
Do
whoa.
they?
Whoa. Well, there you go.
Well, you've actually done them a bit of advertising here.
Oh,
'cause
look,
we're
I'm
getting
very...
Sorry, Al.
several emails saying I'm visiting London with my friend who's a size 15
Well,
soon.
go to Magnus.
Magnus
they are.
Magnuson. And they start, I believe, 11 to 19 is the men's sizes. So there'd be no business for you in there, FS.
And also,
Or me.
if you've
Or
got
you.
a dachshund
Yeah.
that you're looking to transport,
Yeah.
that'd be one of those. You could wear it like a papoose, a size 19 brogue.
Yes.
Anyway, so this
Or
bloke...
someone else says, sorry, Frank, quickly,
Go
but
on.
Hazel and Ali say, thanks for the tip about your local shoe shop with shoes the size of ferret beds.
Yeah,
Me and my size 14 partner are visiting London next month. So, yeah.
perfect. Well, that'll be really good.
We've also got a follow-up from the chap who first spoke to his Swedish wife, now wife, on the tube.
Can I say the great thing about that shoe shop is people will be able to look at the shoes on the lower thing without having to bend their knees.
And also, someone else, Al, has pointed out 071. Tell Frank the big shoe shop may be one of Mr. Ben's shops.
Yes.
Maybe he can be whoever he wants to be when he goes in.
No, I'm not going in.
Are you really?
I say full respect, and I'm happy to give them some more time, but you're not getting me in there.
All right.
Sorry, Al.
I believe you just referred to me meeting my Swedish wife on the tube. Just to follow up, I was inspired by my granddad, who winked at my grandma on the bus when they were teens. They were happily married for many years. Tell your readers, be brave, you never know.
Yes, probably the least appropriate advice one could give in 2019. Don't come to us with your police statements. Wowee. But, good luck with that approach.
We like to swim against the tide of public opinion sometimes.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if he was going to end up doing this 4-day, 100-mile... What was it, on a glacier or a frozen
lake?
A frozen lake, yeah.
And he had to do it in brogues. It's a shame, really, that he hadn't worn slippers. Slippers?
Oh, yeah.
Is this a frozen slip?
Yes, no, I'm with you.
Is this on? Is this on?
Oh.
Good one.
Oh, someone's been sipping from Frank's cup. Frank, I saw the pictures of the boots, the brogue boots, and I was relieved.
Yeah.
Firstly, can I say they look not unlike you were talking about Van Gogh earlier.
Yeah.
The Van Gogh boots.
Yeah, I thought they had a slight Mary Poppins feel.
Yes, but I was relieved because so often people incorrectly use the word brogue to describe what is in fact an Oxford.
Oh.
Is that right?
And the Oxford and the brogue are often confused.
So glad to have you on the show in moments like this.
you.
Yeah.
We don't
If
want
we
to
could just
mislead
say,
the general public.
a brogue has perforations on it, but also has the exposed eyelet. Do you see? So the Oxford has a hidden eyelet. That's more like a dress. So the rule is that a gentleman would never wear a brogue with a dinner suit.
So you couldn't have a slip-on brogue.
Good heavens, no. You need an exposed eyelet. My point about him is I think he was a gent because he was at least wearing the brogue with jeans because it's more of a country look. But I did find the sight of him. There was one photo of him in the faded blue jeans. I mean, they weren't boot cut, but still, nevertheless, slipping about on that ice. I mean, it was very Top Gear.
Although he looked like a dashing character in the pictures.
Did you think?
He grew the beard apparently deliberately to keep warm.
Yeah.
Out there. But the way he was...
I might do that.
He had like a sort of like a turban type thing wrapped around. He looked like Lawrence of Arabia or something like that. T.E. Lawrence.
Yeah.
He liked to laugh.
Is that on his number plate?
Yeah.
T-E-L. T-E-5.
I still have a problem with him doing the flight in brogue boots. I mean, it's not a long-haul flight shoe, is it? You want something comfortable.
Exactly.
You want to slip on something, relaxing.
Someone with
to
a
wear.
bit of room, maybe from Magnus.
A flip-flop, yeah.
Yeah.
Or similar.
Magnus could have helped out.
I don't know if it qualifies hand luggage. It might have to go in. Sorry, sir, your shoe's going to have to go in the hole. It reminded me of I once went swimming and I'd forgot my trunks when I realised I was already all dressed. So I had to go pants.
You swam in pants?
I swam in my pants.
What, like the ones you wore in the Venga Boys video?
No, they were more boxer shorty type pants, and I thought these would be all right, but it wasn't.
Boxer shorts? What, Homer Simpson? I mean, what sort of type are we talking?
Are we talking a cotton boxer here or a flingy...
I think the man who told me was Homer Simpson. Oh no, Homer Simpson, yes.
Well, but what I'm saying is, I think Frank certainly had to go to the Magnus shop for his boxers.
The circus, the thing is with swimming trunks, the material they're made of, and I don't know if this is deliberate, they give you a sort of generalised outline.
Oh dear.
Yeah, exactly. They give you
I don't like this.
They give you a précis.
No, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Whereas if you wear the wet pants,
Oh.
then you get the small print.
Oh my goodness.
so to speak.
Oh my God, I feel like I've walked into Magnus' shop.
I know, it was, I think my pants qualifier just broke, so I seem to remember an exposed eyelet.
Oh, what happens?
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So we're discussing Peter Messervy Gross, PMG as we've dubbed him.
But not on his personalised number plate.
No.
But he also got
PG75.
He also got a nickname because if you've just tuned in, he lost his luggage on the way to do a 100-mile ultra marathon, and so he did it in his boots that he'd travelled in.
Brogues,
And they nicknamed the other competitors. They nicknamed him the Rogan Brogues.
Yeah.
Of course they did. I mean, it was too tempting not to.
It's not the worst nickname, is it? Speaking
Well,
of
what's
somebody
the-
who went through school with the surname Cochrane, he's done all right.
No, it'll be all right.
I mean, your bar's low.
I'd be more embarrassed
Exactly.
about running in jeans at my age.
I'd be more embarrassed about wearing them.
I don't wear blue denim
Don't you?
jeans.
Oh,
No. Because I'm over 50 and not a cowboy. And that to me, so you
They're your
decide.
rules.
It's a very draconian approach. I mean, I you know, you can wear. I like a senior figure in jeans.
No,
I am
no, I
one
can't.
today.
I can't go. I told you I saw Jonathan Miller at his own production of La Boheme in blue jeans, and it looked awful.
No.
Wow, it's worse than Will Gompertz's review.
No,
Van Gogh.
The La Boheme was great.
Yes.
The leg wear. So,
what age should I stop wearing blue jeans at? 50. On the, like, right on there. 50.
Really?
women can wear them forever.
Oh, do you know I love you?
And then
saying
at
that.
60, can I go to like a yoga trouser and a suit jacket like Elton John? Is that allowed?
No, you go to
He
the...
likes a shell suit, though.
Exactly. You go to the I have given up shop like the rest of us.
Sounds good.
Okay?
Can't wait.
Although Frank Skinner does not go there, can I say he looks fabulous this morning in a floral shirt, which is very this season because it's got a sort of dark floral. It's like, I call it a goth floral.
I would tell you what, if I knew what make it was, I'd tell you. I'll ask hold on, the producer
I think
can
it's
have a look at
probably
my
Ted
label. At your
Baker.
label.
But I
do
will
you
get
think?
back to you on that. Ted
Liberty.
Baker, I'm imagining. Yes, I
Ted
was
Baker.
correct. I see, I recognise on site, thank you.
Oh, well.
Good work.
This, is that... I want to ask you a question about... I don't suppose either of you have been to Mongolia, have you?
I haven't.
Only in jokes
Is
when you're out to Mongolia.
Well, exactly. Is there an inner Mongolia? Because all I ever heard referred to was outer Mongolia.
Yes.
It's a real shame this is the last link, 'cause I could think that's the sort of thing that could light up the switchboard, Frank.
Well-
Is there an inner Mongolia?
Well, I was talking to Ross Kemp once, and he told me that he'd filmed with right-wing vigilante groups in Mongolia,
Doesn't sound like Ross Kemp.
and he singled them out as scary. I mean, he'd already worked with
As scary
Mexican drug barons and the Ku Klux Klan.
Right.
Ku Klux Klan, by the way. I often hear it said as Ku Klux Klan.
Do you?
Yeah,
Right.
but you know what? They haven't a clue.
No, excellent. So Ross Kemp said...
But he singled out the Mongolian right-wing vigilante groups as particularly scary.
Can I say what I love, Frank? Ross Kemp, his greatest fear is the Mongolian right-wing groups. Your greatest fear is an outside shoe shop in Hampstead.
That shows something about our life experiences, doesn't it? I can imagine if I took him and we just had a little look in the window of that shop, he might want to rethink his league table of fear.
He'd go, no, Frank, I'll handle this.
Well, someone has mentioned that opposite the Magnus shop there is a long, tall Sally. Can only giants live in that area of London, they ask.
A long,
that's
tall
It's
absolutely-
like a
There's nothing
tall women's clothes shop.
I think this must be a different branch
Oh,
of
maybe.
Magnus. There's probably, I think one of them is left feet and one of them is right
Well,
feet.
they span 3 boroughs, the Magnus
Do they
branch.
really?
Yeah. And then there's the high-rise one, the tiptoe Magnus. Anyway, if you've got feet that are bigger than a 9 or 10, go and check them out. That'll be my advice. Or really long nails, I suppose, that you want to nurture. I've got lots of paperwork here. So can I remind you again that we have a podcast coming out on Wednesday, the 3rd of April, which is Frank Skinner in conversation with ... Emily Dean.
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening to us. today. Listen to me and Emily on Wednesday. And if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now get out!
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.